Welcome to the We Pod. Each week we bring you new stories, episodes telling the experiences, the adventures, and the lives of some of the most incredible members of our community. And this week is no different. Thank you to our sponsors, Digital Sparks, who are bringing so much incredible content to so many agents across our industry. We could not do this without you. Welcome to this week's episode of the We Pod. Welcome to this week's episode of the We Pod. It is an absolute privilege today for me to sit down with someone who I would consider an old friend. And I have known this absolute titan in the industry for probably coming up to 20 years now. We've worked together in the past, and I've not seen him for some time, so I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Please welcome Russell Manning to the We Pod.
Thank you, Verona.
Russell, it's an absolute pleasure to have you.
A pleasure to be here. Thank you for asking me.
You're welcome. So the first thing I should say to you is after 50 odd years in the estate agency, congratulations on your recent exit of Northern Estates to LRG.
LRG, indeed, yeah.
So I can only imagine, and I know it hasn't been a drop off a cliff exit for you personally.
No.
But even so, it still feels finite, right?
Yeah.
How has the last few months been for you whilst you've reflected on your journey?
I would say quite emotional, in fact very emotional, because what it has done is given me an opportunity just to reflect back a little bit.
Sure.
Well, a lot actually, in fairness, and it's quite a few years I've been able to reflect back on. And I've enjoyed doing that because I've never really been one to give myself a pat on the back for anything. And I haven't even done it this time, but it is a finite situation, so you think, well, that's largely your journey.
Yeah.
So that creates a nostalgic view of things, or it does for me anyway, because I'm quite a nostalgic, emotional person anyway. And looking back over, as you say, pretty much 50 years since I started out, and the thing that overrides the feelings I have is, where did it all go?
Yeah, I know.
Honestly, and I know people say that when they get old like me, they say, oh, the years just roll back. Well, actually, in reality, they do. Maybe there's a good lesson in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it doesn't seem that long ago since I started out, back in the day, as I used to say. So emotional, proud, actually.
You should be.
If I'm honest, and I think I can be honest with myself now and not be complacent, pretty proud. Proud of what we've done, but also the way we've done it. I always set on our journey to do things the right way and as much as we could. Our industry doesn't get the best press in the world, does it?
No, it definitely does not.
It's a pretty difficult job. In fact, it's a bloody difficult job. And you can upset a lot of people on the way. So being able to do things in an ethical, professional way that really gives benefit to people, for me, has been a mainstream of my whole business career. So pride, I think, is one of those things. Just catching up with a few people who I've worked with over the years, and it's that opportunity to reflect a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed it, actually.
I think that's a really important factor, actually, because a lot of people don't get to spend their life in an industry or in a job, even, or a career, that they feel like, oh, I've really enjoyed that. So choosing a career that you feel passionate about is massively important, and it makes a difference, right? Because then when you get to your stage and you're looking back, you go, oh, yeah, I actually did enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, as with everybody else, we were talking earlier, the ups and the downs of this industry, as with the world in which we live and look at the current situation, lots of challenges. And at the time you think, oh, I don't want to be in this. Why is this happening to me? COVID, or the crash of all these different things were real challenges at the time. But again, looking back, and I was talking to one of my partners, my ex-partners the other day, we said, do you know what, David? We got through that. We dug in.
Yeah.
COVID, we got through 2004, we got through 1992 or 3, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we're here.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the pride bit comes in. You think, well, we did. It wasn't easy sometimes.
So tell me about during that journey, because you're absolutely right, not everybody has survived some of those challenges, and we've had our fair share of it in this sector, in this country. What do you think was different about Manning Stainton and the Northern Estates Group? What do you think was different about that meant that you did not just survive it, you thrived it, right?
Did.
You definitely
We
thrived
did.
through that.
Yeah.
So how did you navigate some of those big challenges?
I think the way I always tried to make sure our business was set was enjoy the good times, make money, enjoy looking at the figures at the end of the month, which are beyond your expectations, and take some of the glory.
Yeah.
Go to the conferences, have a few drinks, celebrate, enjoy it. But, and here's the thing, there's always trouble around the corner. Always, my experience tells me. And the important thing was, you couldn't know when those troubles were coming, because none of us have a magic wand, but you could prepare during the good times.
Yeah.
So we always made sure, it was my mantra really, that we had reserves, we had capital, we had people reserves, we had enough to think, if something comes at us, we might panic for a few days or for a few weeks. We might think, oh my God. COVID was probably the best example. But we had enough wherewithal and enough experience to be ready for the fight. And I think if I look at the success of our business over all those years, it was those moments that made our business, not the good times.
Yeah.
It was meeting the challenges. And I know it probably sounds a little bit corny, but it is true. When it's easy, anybody can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and you can fool yourself into thinking that you're very good at what you do. But actually, in truth, it's only when,
Times
to
are
use
tough.
the proverbial expression, when the so-so hits the fan,
absolutely.
then you find out what you're made of. So for me, that was, I think, why we were able to do what we do, because as a team, and we were a team, my colleagues and I, we worked very hard together. We were honest with each other. We could argue, but we'd never fall out. And we'd say, right, come on, chaps, let's get out the trenches.
Yeah.
Let's fight. Let's not wither and die. And I think that's what probably, if I reflect back a bit, has made the business it is and still is.
Amazing. And one of the things that I think is quite unique in this sector particularly is the amount of family relationships in a number of businesses, and Manning Stainton is a brilliant representation of that. So
absolutely.
Mark took over from you as CEO,
He did.
and also you have your partners have all got
Yeah.
their families in the business as well.
Yeah.
So tell us a little about the family dynamic within the business to start with.
Well, I grew up in an environment where my parents both came from family business environments. So I was used to the family dynamic to start with. And, you know, it's quite a tense thing at times, because when you're family, you say stuff to each other that you wouldn't say to anybody else, honestly, would you? Because you're still family.
Yeah. You know that the relationship is good regardless.
So I think we were able, myself, my partners, we had 4 sons altogether. Mark being mine, David had 2 sons, Mike another son. We weren't all in the room together at any one time. But I always used to say to Mark, when he first came in the business, you know what, Mark, whatever you do in this business, if you want to come in and join us, that's great, but you've got to be at least as good, if not better, at what you do than anybody else. Because if you don't, everybody will go, well, it's all right for him. His figures are rubbish this month, but it's okay. And to be fair to him and to the boys, James and Matthew and Chris, all the lads, they've all taken that on board. So whatever they do in the business, they make sure that they lead. And that's something I instilled in them all. When it comes to business progression, business development, we'd sit in a room, we'd look at opportunities. I would be the one that said, oh, no, it's too this, it's too that, it's too that. Mark would be the one, no, come on, Dad, we've got to do this, got to do the other. The other guys would be somewhere in the middle, you know, and we'd just talk it through, and we'd find a way. But you can fall out very quickly.
And
you can say some terrible things.
You're bound to have had some blowouts as well.
I mean, I could, if I dug into my text file, you know, my WhatsApp file from Mark. You think, well, he's
highly confident.
Oh yeah, we'd be at each other. But I think,
does it last long?
No.
Or do you get over it quickly?
No.
No,
because to me, family's everything, and the love of a family is a blessing for me. So you can argue your heads off, which we do, but
that comes first.
Family comes first. So and
So
nothing
did you
else.
have to sit down before you, particularly as Mark moved into a very senior role in the business, did you have to sit down and almost kind of agree on boundaries or guardrails, or was that unwritten
No,
already?
not really.
Yeah.
No, because I think we have the same strategic view of how we should do things.
Yeah.
It's instilled in us from our family background.
Yeah.
And Mark, I never ever question or worry that Mark wouldn't follow that through. Mark was also influenced by his mum, his late mum, who helped build the business.
Yeah.
And I know he's a pride in what he does for Amanda,
Yes.
not just for me.
Yeah.
So no, I think the main discussions we would have and the main arguments we would have might be about, should we buy this business here or should we do this over there? Should we open a new branch here? What about so-and-so who's not doing very well in that office? And
Yeah.
just the normal cut and thrust of day to day.
Yeah.
We acquired the Ryder and Dutton business in Lancashire.
Yes.
To be fair to Mark, that was he originated that deal. And we huffed and we puffed and we argued and we did lots and lots of spreadsheets on it and all the rest of it. But in the end, we got there.
Yeah.
And
Amazing.
it's just about talking and being honest and open.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think most relationships thrive when
well,
you
they
do
are.
that, right? So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no difference. So you touched on Mark's mum,
Yeah.
your late wife Amanda,
She was,
and
yes.
one of the I remember we were reflecting earlier some years ago when we worked together at Mortgage Talk when I was at Mortgage Talk, and Amanda unfortunately got cancer and
did.
had a terrible illness,
She
and
did.
I remember at the time you were on a mission to raise as much money for Macmillan
That's
because they
correct.
were incredible.
That's right. Thank you.
And I think that was a very poignant moment. And Amanda was a very incredible woman, and she had a massive impact on your business.
Without a doubt.
All of us.
Indeed. When I first started, I was only a young kid. You're making me emotional now, Verona.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Actually,
Like I say, this is a conversation with an old friend.
And it's, you know what, I've thought about her quite a lot in the
Of
recent,
course.
and
She'd be very proud too of
she'd
what
be
you've all
proud and she'd kick in our
achieved.
arse at the same time. She wasn't easy sometimes. No, when I first started out, I was a young kid, didn't really know what I was doing, and I was a young lad on my own, like a lot of people who start
Yeah, of
today.
course.
I read about all these self-employed agents. Everyone talks like it's a new thing.
Yeah,
It's just
been-
not.
been around for a while.
Been around a while.
Yeah.
And Amanda had a full-time job as well, but she helped us set up the first office. She gave me the confidence I needed
Yeah.
to go out there and do it. And along the journey, when we came together with the Stainton's business in 2001, I think it was me who was reluctant. I'd done the deal.
Yeah.
And we went on a holiday, and I said, I don't think I can do it. I think I've made a mistake. And she said, Russell, shut up. Come on.
Back yourself.
It's the right thing. Get on with it. Go and kick it.
Yeah.
2004, when the market went down, I'm coming home thinking, oh my God, that's it.
Yeah.
The world is ended. It's all gone.
Catastrophic.
What are we going to do? She said, do we need to sell a house? I said, no. She said, well, fine. She said, do me a favour. Shut up.
Yeah. Stop moving.
Get out there and
Yeah.
do what you do. And that's what she did.
Yeah.
She was a very practical, get on with it sort of girl.
Yeah. Amazing.
And she's instilled that in Mark and my daughter Rebecca as well. And that's the legacy when I look back now, that the business started with that sort of mentality. So Macmillan came later, and again part of our culture is to give back a bit.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want to get sort of cheesy about it or holier than thou. I was taught at a young age, if you were able to do something to help other people, if you've been
Yes.
successful, then
Pay
do
it
it.
forward.
It's a good thing. And our businesses rely on our communities.
Absolutely.
Don't we?
Yeah.
You can talk about technology to blue in the face, but it's all about the people around it. People would approach us often, can you help us with a bit of this? Can you help us with a bit of that? And we'd always say yes. We'd put some, in fact, Mark's probably told you, we did have a fund.
Yes.
At one point we said, right, we're going to put so much to one side
Yeah.
and make sure. Macmillan was a big part of that.
Yeah.
When Amanda passed away, we decided we wanted to do something in tribute. And since then we've raised, I think it's probably 300,000
Incredible.
plus, or maybe a bit more actually,
Incredible.
with various events that we've done. The team have embraced it as well. And it's been one of my proudest achievements.
That's a wonderful legacy, you know, and not just for Amanda, but for the business
For
as
the
well.
business as well.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
much
And for
so.
the communities and the people that work
Yeah.
for you, because I think whenever people are making choices now about the business that they engage with to either do business with or work with, they want to believe there's more behind the numbers and the profit. You know, purpose is so important now.
I totally agree, Verona. And we can get a bit lost in that
Totally agree.
these days, in the noise that's around us. It strikes me that I was fortunate, I think, because I didn't have all that noise. You know, you knew what your business was and you knew what you had to do, and you went out and did it. And you could do it within a sort of a regular time frame.
Yeah.
Whereas now, of course, there's so much noise coming at us from all over the place. And you sometimes lose sight of the purpose. And for us, the purpose was, yes, we want to make money, we want to have a good life, fundamentally, but we wanted to do something a bit more than that.
Yeah.
And when we became a bit more successful, that was always very high on our list of things we
Because
wanted
you have
to
to do the first thing first, right?
You've got to be successful first.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's a difficult balance, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and I find that in our business, we still want to do good, but ultimately doing good primarily is about making sure that our customers still have people to serve them next month, and that our team still have a job next month. That's what you have to start with.
It's the icing on the cake of the business.
Yeah.
You've got to get the business right, the fundamentals, and you've got to get the profit coming in, the cash, and then you can do all those lovely things.
Yeah.
And that's a real pleasure. It's a privilege, actually.
So looking at the industry now, and I think you're at a real vantage viewpoint because you are seeing this new, again, it's not new, it's the next phase of what this industry is looking like, and the influence of social media and AI, albeit that that's reasonably early stages.
Yes.
How do you see the future of the industry? What do you worry about for the future of the industry? Where do you think the excitement is?
I think that my philosophy, and again, I don't want to sound cheesy, but our business is all about people. Our industry is about people. Now, if you put the people, and the people are your customers and your team, if you put them in the middle of everything that you do, you probably won't go very far on. And that's what I've tried. Not always got it right, made lots of mistakes, my goodness, but we always come back to that same point. It's about the people. So whatever we introduce into the business, whether it's some new technology or AI as it's coming, and all these things that I keep hearing and seeing, I go into our head office, we've got, I think, 6 people in our IT department. I haven't got a clue what they do. They're lovely. They sit there all day going, I don't know what they do. I'm assured that it's adding value.
But the person who leads them knows what they do, and you've delegated that responsibility to them.
In whatever it's about the people. So if there's AI, which there will be, I don't think anybody really properly understands what AI is going to do.
Yeah.
I've listened to a few industry experts, and they've been honest to say we don't know yet.
Yeah.
It could be social media, so all this different stuff that's going. What's in it? What's in it for the people? What's in it for your customer, for our customers? How's it going to enhance the process, which is a nightmare, utter nightmare, far worse than it was when I first started, and your team and your people.
Yeah.
And as long as you think about the impact on those 2 groups of people and what the likely outcome is going to be, you probably won't go far wrong.
Yeah.
How do I see it? It's hard to call. I think the firms that will be successful will embrace the technology that's out there, but won't let it completely
become more important
than those people.
Yeah.
Because the lesson I learned is that, and it's cheesy, it's a very emotional business buying moving.
Absolutely is, yeah.
I know some of our clients are selling commercially, but a lot of our clients are just people who have
Key
to
moments
sell,
in their lives.
you know, maybe family problems and all that stuff, or they want to aspirationally move higher in the market. There's a lot of emotion involved. Only human beings can deal with emotion, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think machines will ever deal with emotion. Maybe in 20 years' time they will. But so it's about the benefits to the people, and I don't think that will change. I think anybody who's good at that will do well in this business, wherever they may be.
Yeah.
And if you ask me that question in 10 or 20 years' time, I think it'll be the same thing. So embrace the technology, embrace the change, but how is it going to impact your customer and your client? And if it's not, don't do it.
And is there anything in all of that that you think is a kind of maybe considered an old school value that you think we're at risk of potentially losing in this race to be highly tech-driven, AI, efficiency orientated, all of that?
Yeah.
Where do you think we're at risk of losing some of the...
I think we're at risk of losing what matters to the client and how to help them through that journey. Because that's what they want you to do. That's ostensibly what they're paying you to do.
Yeah.
But more important than that, they need somebody to help them through that process, which is ever more challenging.
Yeah.
I'm very mindful. It's quite interesting. If you look at our business, our sales progressing was always done in the branches, and it was relatively straightforward. We've now got a group of probably our most experienced people, amongst our most experienced people, in our office in Leeds. We call them move managers. They're fantastic. And I listen to them on the phone. And no amount of machinery or technology can do what they're doing. And they are holding hands, they're dealing with emotional turmoil. And I come back to the same thing. If you lose sight of that and think that a machine or a piece of technology can do it, you're going to be you'll be in trouble. I believe that. And I think when I look around our industry, I think the guys that have done well and had sustainable businesses, that's why they've done well. They've embraced the technology, they've embraced social media, all the marketing we do, and there's tons and tons of it. That's to me more about business generation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Which is a different thing. And there's two parts to it. There's business generation on the one side, which we have to do, but there's actually then doing the business.
And it's getting that blend right. It's understanding where people will add value in the best way and technology will add value in the best way, and not confusing the two, I think is the point.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you've got to navigate your way through that. And I think it's getting harder to do that because everybody's being bombarded with opportunities, with new and interesting ideas which seem to resolve everybody's problems. Not sure yet.
Yeah. So I want to come on in just a second. I've got one final question to ask you about the business. I want to come on and talk about life post the Russell that we have known in this guise for the last 50 years. So why now and why LRG? Because I'm sure there's been exit opportunities over the years many times.
Yeah, good question really. I think we'd reached a point where we were a bit of a crossroads. Very successful business, undoubtedly, but we either had to say, we need to join up with somebody to move on to the next phase of our development. Think about doing it on our own. The danger was sort of standing still and getting
and then
caught
go backwards.
In sort of a bit of no man's land. Personally, I was happy in any event. You know, I'm very proud of our business as an independent business, very successful. Thank God we made decent profits and the rest of it. But Mark and the team also said that, you know, we've got to think about the future. What I didn't want us to do, which is to sell to a big corporate entity and become swallowed up as part of that entity. Because I felt that would end in tears. LRG's approach was more interesting for us. They wanted a new region. And
they don't trade in
a bit. They do in a few locations, but predominantly a business in the south. Private equity backed. Without going into sort of tons of details, the proposition they put forward was a blended proposition, which would allow Mark, particularly, and the team to stay in the business, become the new region, and then build from there, but also have a stake in the business still. Without that, I wouldn't have done it. I wanted a stake.
To look after the team. Of course.
Because, you know, it didn't really matter that much to me. We've got 476 people working in our group. And a lot of them have been with us many years. And it's important to me, I would sleep at night if they're not thriving and enjoying what they're doing. So lots of opportunities for them. Mark, as the chief executive of the new business, has a stake, a personal stake. He's reinvested a very significant amount of money. We like the LRG senior team. So far, it's proved to be right. Very accessible, fun, and very much on our wavelength. And so I think if you look at all of that. The world is becoming more and more challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
The investment required in a business like ours to keep expanding was very significant.
Yeah.
3 old shareholders.
Yeah.
So, in the end,
It felt like the right time.
it felt like the right thing. So far,
Good.
I'm actually very
You're happy
pleased.
with how
Yeah,
it's gone.
it's early days,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Mike Cook and Neil Louth and the guys that we work with, and thinking, oh, you know, but they've been great.
Excellent.
And I've not seen that much, but when I have done, I've enjoyed working with them. And the thing I like about them is that they come from the same place as I came.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Neil Louth remembers me when I was years back. We crossed.
Did you work together, or
We didn't work
just-
together,
yeah,
but we
just in the
maybe
industry?
through. It could have been through MAB. I don't know.
Right.
But you know, you sort of
Yeah.
get to know people in your industry.
Of course, it's a small world. This industry is a small world. Yeah.
And they talk our language.
Yeah.
Which I like. So, big decision, huge
Yeah.
decision. It felt like initially I was sort of letting the baby go. You know,
Yeah,
selling
of
one of my
course.
kids.
Of course, yeah.
But I think now, and the opportunities that are coming,
Yeah.
and the discussions that we've had with them have been really positive and
Great.
very exciting, actually. Quite jealous of Mark a little bit.
Well, there is a bit of that, isn't there? There's a bit of like, oh, someone else is going to now like help develop my
Yeah.
toddler to the next phase.
But that's okay.
But that's exciting too.
I'm
yeah.
okay
And
with
a brilliant opportunity for Mark as
with that.
well.
I want the business to be as successful, and if not more successful than it has been.
Yeah.
My name's on the door.
Yeah.
You know what, Verona? I still drive down the roads in Leeds looking for boards.
Of course.
And if I see
We
a competitor
all do.
board, and it doesn't make it, you know, and I think, why are you doing this?
I know. It's
And
funny,
you know, one of
isn't
these
it?
days I'll go into a lamppost.
Yeah.
You know, or I see a house come on the market near me, and I'm thinking,
You'll
why
be calling. Why did we get called
I
out to
do.
that one?
I ring
Yeah.
Louise, who's the nearest office to me.
Yeah.
I was like, Louise, why didn't we get that one?
I bet Louise loves being your closest office.
She gets the call.
I have the same with my closest agent too. Why is that for sale board not sold yet? Yeah,
And I
exactly.
think, why am I even bothered? But I am.
But on that point then, because that was the question I wanted to move to, which is your identity as a man is so connected with the business because you've been knee deep in it for so long.
I guess.
So now that you've exited and you had your penultimate board meeting yesterday,
Yeah,
I think you
I think
said.
so.
How do you now separate, and what does your identity mean to you now in this next phase of your life?
Well, it's a good question. And I probably need to go away and sit on a beach for a few days and think about all of that.
That's a good plan.
Which I'm going to do. I think I want to make sure, I've been involved in lots of other things as well, and I still
of
am.
course.
So it's having a purpose. My purpose isn't as great as it once was. I haven't got the energy that I once had, but I have certain interests which I'm very, very passionate about. I want to maintain those. I want to see the business continue to thrive. I still go in.
Yeah.
I still walk around. I think that having had a few blows on the journey, personally, I want to make sure my family are good, and I just want to enjoy myself.
Well, that sounds like a
You
brilliant
know,
plan to me.
I travel a lot. I've always have done. I'm traveling even more. A few indulgences here and there, which I've done, and I just want to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds, well, everybody wants to do that, but sometimes in order to do it, you've got to stand back a bit and think, well, yeah, I can do that, but also to be of some use to somebody somewhere. So I work with 2 or 3 businesses. One in particular, which is a relatively young business, which I really enjoy.
That's brilliant.
I've invested in, over a period of time, in some other businesses,
Yeah.
which are very interesting, not in the agency sector in
Right.
particular. I enjoy that. And just not be too, don't put too much pressure on myself.
Yeah,
I lived in, you're the same in your, I'm sure you do. I was doing an interview for one of the trade magazines years ago, and they said, if you could do something else, what would you like to do? I said, anything that's not measured in units of a month.
Yeah.
Because, you're
Yeah.
every bloody month of your life.
It's exhausting.
How
isn't
many
it?
sales have we done?
Yeah,
And it's the
yeah.
24th. God, we've got another whatever it is to do.
Yeah.
Have we done enough exchanges?
Yeah. What's your run rate every day? What do we
Every
need for the
day,
rest? And then you end the month and you're back to zero.
Zero.
That is a soul destroying practice.
It is, it's hard.
It absolutely is.
You've got to have a lot,
Yes.
and especially when things are tough,
Yeah.
you've got to have a lot of metal to get through
relentless,
that.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. Not that
Not
I'm
having
doing
to worry
it. 'Cause
what
I
day
said
of the
to
month it
I saw
is.
Mark last night for dinner. I said, what's the figures like?
Did he tell
I'm laughing
you?
at myself.
I hope he didn't tell
Yeah,
you.
he did. So he knows he's got to sold me. First thing I used to do when I used to get in the office every day, I used to check the 7-day viewing figures, because that was always a measure.
Yeah.
And I've stopped doing it. I thought, right, stop doing that.
Yeah.
So I said to him
Wean
yesterday,
yourself off bit by bit.
I said, what's the 7-day viewing figures like? You can't get it out of your head.
Yeah.
It's in your DNA.
Well, if you've been doing it for such a long
Yeah.
time, it's very, very hard. And I guess that's where my question was, how do you separate that? But, you're still on a journey to kind of figuring out what that looks like.
And I feel very, Verona, it's a tough world out there, and I'm not, and I feel very fortunate to have gone through all of that, and I'm determined to enjoy it and to respect it, to respect the good fortune that I've had, and to work with some incredible people and to build something that I'm proud it will last. It'll be there, and long after I've gone,
For sure.
I'm pretty sure the name will be there.
Yeah.
I quite like this.
That's a wonderful legacy to leave. That's a wonderful legacy. Did you, when you set up the business, did you think that far ahead to think that this is what I was trying to achieve?
No, it was just a question. Look, I can remember the times when we used to have to go down to the bank and pay checks in to make sure we didn't run into an overdraft.
Yeah.
So no, not at all. Far from it. I think the motivation for doing it came from the fact, to be honest, and I don't want anybody to repeat this, I actually in the end hated being an estate agent. Not for many, many years, but I hated it.
Yeah.
Because I was repeating the same thing.
Yeah.
People were driving me. I was becoming very impatient.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't really doing my best. And I thought, I've got to get out of this. It's doing my head in.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought, I got some help actually. It was quite interesting. And I thought, I'm not going to be an estate agent, but I'm going to run and build an estate agency.
Yeah.
Which is what you did.
Be a leader. Yeah.
Be a leader. And actually, that was the moment. I thought, right, now in order to do that, I've got to justify me coming out of earning fees.
Yeah.
And find somebody to replace me.
Yeah.
I thought it was irreplaceable, obviously, but I wasn't. Turns out the guy I took on to do my branch did better than I did.
Amazing.
Shows you. And that set me on the journey to create what we've got now with David, Mike, and latterly Mark, Steve, Wendy, Alison, and all the team that we've worked together.
And therein, you can keep mentioning members of your team. You can keep saying, because therein lies the sign of a very good leader, but a good business, which is surrounding yourself with people who are better at the various elements of that business than you are. And it is hard to, when you're a control freak, when it's your baby, it is hard to step back and delegate and let other people lead. Is. But so many times we are proved that when we do that, they do a better job, and it's the right thing for the business. So that's a healthy approach.
Well, that was certainly my approach when I went through my change from being an agent to running an agency. You soon realise you can't do that on your own.
Yeah.
You have to have people, because if you try and run the agency and be the agent, you're going to run into problems. You can't do everything.
I have this conversation with our franchise owners on a regular basis.
And that's the challenge for a small business.
It is.
How does a small business, if they so wish to do so, become a big business? And going through that challenge is what I did. And the first thing you realise is you can't do stuff on your own. You have to have the best people with you. And I've been very fortunate, and a great part of our success is not down to me at all. It's down to a group of people. It's like a great football team. You can have a great defender or midfielder or whatever, but if you haven't got a team, you're not going to...
11 goalies will work.
And successful businesses which I've looked at and observed over many, many years do have that magic ingredient. They've got a great team of people. They may have a figurehead who appears to be,
the conductor.
The conductor. That's what they are. You're a conductor. And they appear from the outside to be doing everything, but they're not.
Absolutely not.
They're not. I mean, we've got people in our business that do stuff that I couldn't even get anywhere near.
Likewise.
I won't even try. And that was probably my most enjoyable period of time, going from relatively small local guy, coming out of day to day. The day when I stopped going around seeing houses, I honestly thought I was cheating. It felt like I wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Honestly, it was the weirdest feeling.
Yeah.
But you get used to it.
You do. And that's where the hustle is, isn't it? It's this, what's next? Who's the options? What do we try? You try something, it works. You try that, it doesn't work. And then you refine and refine and refine. And that's how you build an incredible business.
And we took opportunities as well. Some of those opportunities came about for defensive reasons. Some we saw something. And we thought, And I think partly also my determination and passion to do it right. To do it well, do it right.
And that's why you're enduring, for sure.
And invest. Don't be frightened to invest.
Yeah.
Believe it. You've got to believe it. You've got to persevere. It doesn't always work straight away.
Yeah.
But if you're on the right track, it will. And I think that's something we've also been pretty good at as well.
So I'm going to ask you one final question before we wrap. I actually have two questions. The first one is, we've talked about so much of your journey for the last 50 years. If there's one moment that you will go back and think that's the proudest moment or the proudest day or the proudest phase of that period of time, what jumps into your mind straight away?
I mean, to be fair, Verona, there's quite a lot, and we've had some incredible things, but I think probably the one that does stick out was back in the old days, the relocation network, as it was the first time we'd engaged with agents in other parts of the country, and some really successful people. You know, talk about LRG, were Romans. I remember Dale Norton from and some of these guys I met was a real revelation. And in those days, the annual conference was the thing in the industry. There was nothing like it. There was no other awards. There was the Relocation Network Awards, and that was it. Nowadays, there's awards for everything, isn't there? And I'm not belittling those, and it's great. Recognise good things when they happen. So we were in Brighton at the Relocation Network conference, and we were sat in the kitchen virtually, and everybody was getting awards and recognition, and we got absolutely diddly squat. And my partner, David Pank, said, am I allowed to use rude words?
Of course you are, yeah.
He said, fuck this. He said, next year, we're going to win this thing, right? Okay. He said, and I'm going to make it my mission that we win it. So I said, okay, David, off you go. Throughout the course of the year that followed, we really did, and it made such a difference to our business as well, because we really did max everything out. The awards dinner was in London at the Hilton on Edgware Road. There was probably something like 1,200 people there. David said, I'm bringing every manager down. I think there was about 20 of them at the time. I said, are you serious? I said, what if we don't win? Billy Muggins here would have to pick up the pieces. You know? He says, they're coming. All right. So we had 20 of the guys came down. And I can remember sat in that room, I was absolutely, not for myself, to be honest with you. I thought, if we don't win this damn thing now, David is going to hang himself. And all these people have come down to London, and I'm going to have to consult everything. Anyway, long story short, the awards were announced, we'd won the award.
Amazing.
Estate Agent of the Year. Well, the following year, we milked that.
Of course you did.
Till we were blue in the face. And it made a phenomenal difference. So I think it's a highlight of a business career, because, you know, we grew up in a small local marketplace, just doing local work and local business. We didn't know anybody on the outside. And here we are on a national stage, getting national recognition. We went to America. We did all this stuff. And it was, I think, a big stepping stone to what we've got today.
But it also demonstrates the power of when you put your mind to something, you can achieve it, right? If you believe you can or you can't, you're right.
We believed it as a business, but David, to be fair, I'll give him a lot of credit for this. He ate it, he slept it, he breathed it. We followed him. I made sure that I backed him. But it made such a difference to our business. I mean, that was one moment. There's been many, many. I've been very fortunate. I've had some fantastic adventures, and I could tell you stories till you're blue in the face. But I think probably as a standout, not the only one, but that was one.
That's a gorgeous moment to finish our conversation on. I've really, really enjoyed reminiscing with you, Russell. It's been really lovely. My final question is, we ask every member of our pod guest to recommend someone to come on in the future. So who would you like to see on this chair in the future?
Well, that's a good question. One of my colleagues, I'm mindful this is the Women in Estate Agency. Now, just before we finish, I can say, and I've been very blessed in my working life to met and work with some amazing women. And I can go back and reel their names off for you, and I still do. That's fantastic people, great influence on me. My colleague, Wendy Wood, you might know Wendy.
I do know Wendy.
Who's recently retired.
Oh, has she?
Well, she retired very as our HR director. Worked with Wendy for nearly 30 years. She started out as a junior at our Oakwood office. She rose through our ranks. She ran our rental business. She became our HR director. She's retiring, partly unfortunately because her husband is struggling with health, and she has the means, and we've encouraged her to do that. But the great thing about Wendy is that she came from a very normal background, started life out as a young whippersnapper behind the desk, and she, with determination, with honesty and a good heart, has grown through the business. And I think she is a great example of if anybody's out there thinking, how can I get from here where I am today to somewhere out there? She's not an entrepreneur. She's not a whiz kid, high fly, but
not everybody can.
Brilliant, kind, decent candidate. Now, I would think she will reflect back as well on her journey.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, particularly those maybe starting out, she would be a great inspiration.
Amazing.
And I'd love to see her do this.
Brilliant. Well, we will definitely invite her with your recommendation.
Sorry, Wendy.
Well, Russell, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I hope I haven't witted on too much.
No, we've absolutely loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me. I appreciate it.
A wonderful episode and a really nostalgic experience for me too. So thank you for joining this week's episode of the We Pod. And please share, subscribe, tell your friends, and we will see you next time.